What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to another random reaction, and today we'll be watching how Army Air Assault soldiers are trained by Business Insiders. I think this is the US Army Air Assault course. We have something similar here in Singapore. I think it's called heliborne training or something. I'm not really sure. I can't remember what was it, but yeah, I think we do have a similar course, not course training, and I kind of roughly know what the air assault course is all about. I think you guys have like 10 miles march or something, which is 12 kilometers, 16 kilometers, and then you guys have to do this heli rappelling, which is really fun. I've done it and it's super duper fun. So I wonder if there are any changes, and yep, let's jump straight into it.
This is Army Air Assault School, where students train to insert themselves and equipment into combat using helicopters.
As we start looking towards the future fight, large nation states like in North Korea, where you need to be able to go behind enemy lines, deliver formations of air assault soldiers who could seize objectives, destroy enemy formations. That's the concept.
Air assault! Air assault!
All air assault qualified soldiers have to graduate from a program known as the Army's 10 Toughest Days.
Who's gonna get it?
Wow, Army 10 toughest days. I wonder what's Ranger is called then, or yeah, Q course. Let's take a look.
Who's gonna get it? Air assault!
It's physically demanding, and also it's very mentally demanding. A lot of attention to detail. Some of the hardest things they've done in their lives in these 10 short days.
I definitely think it lives up to the 10 toughest days. There was definitely nights where I was very nervous.
Cadet Katrina White. So she's a cadet. US Air Force. Wow. Okay, interesting. So it's not open to Army only. So there is Air Force personnel as well.
And good reason to be nervous.
Insider spent 4 days inside Air Assault School,
Air assault! Air assault!
where we observe students at various stages of training.
Air assault!
The first phase is an academic phase where the students learn the basics of aircraft capabilities and air assault planning.
Let's just go back for a while. So second phase is sling load phase. So we have something similar, which is sling load phase, and I assure you it's a pain in the ass to rig up the slings, to rig up the load. Is really a pain in the ass. The attention to details is just wow, because the slightest mistake can cost lives, you see. So I guess this, to me, this is one of the toughest part of the training. Like the rest is just like meh.
Phase, the sling load phase, which is how you move equipment around the battlefield under a helicopter.
Training happens here at the Sabalovsky Air Assault School. It's home to the 101st Airborne Division, nicknamed the Screaming Eagles.
110, Burke, first name Aaron.
But before day one of Air Assault School begins, all students have to survive what's known as Day Zero.
Sorry for the pause. I'm quite interested to know how did 101st Airborne actually moved from being an airborne unit to become an air assault division. So if you guys know the history behind it, do let me know.
Roster 3, Staff Sergeant Rivas.
The test is designed to weed out students who aren't ready for the challenges ahead.
114.
It begins before sunrise, when students form up to receive their roster numbers.
222, Holly.
The first test is an early morning inspection of their gear.
Earplugs, highlighter, lacking pen, 1 gallon size Ziploc style bag.
Students are given a list of items they're expected to have in their rucksacks.
Good.
If one single item is missing during the inspection, they're automatically dropped. 17 students in this group were dropped because they were missing items in their packing list.
Wow, No BS, no BS. And it's just packing list. Damn. Okay, it's interesting. So do they give the packing list, beforehand or something? Or I'm not sure what's going on, but 17 people, crazy, man. But I guess it's understandable because you need to pay attention to small little details, especially when it comes to sling load and repelling. So understandable.
A lot of the things that get people dropped is not paying attention to detail, and
There you go. That's what I just said.
that's pretty much what aerosol school is about.
The obstacle course.
That's the first moment where we filter out who is prepared to be here and who wants to be here.
The course contains 9 different obstacles to test students' strength, agility, and confidence.
Air assault!
First, the aptly named Tough One.
Go ahead on the right.
A multi-part obstacle that starts with a 3-meter rope climb
There you go.
and then tests balance, along with upper and lower body strength at a height of over 30 feet.
If you're afraid of heights, it can be very frightening, and if you don't know how to climb a rope, you're just going to be out of luck.
All right, aerosol, what's your roster number? All right, take this over to the white truck right there.
The second major obstacle is the 35-foot tall confidence climb.
I have a fear of heights, so the confidence climb was definitely one that was mentally challenging for me.
Air assault!
Kept on pushing. You gotta push through.
For students who successfully conquer the obstacle course, day 0 is complete.
That was interesting. So this tower here, right, is my biggest enemy. I actually did this. We call it here, I think it's called high obstacle course or something, at Hendon Camp. And this exists, and this is pretty crazy that you guys don't actually have any harnesses or any safety gears. In Singapore, we are very, very serious in terms of safety, so we do have harnesses. Maybe there is a lot of there. I think there was a padding or something, right? Yeah, I don't think even padding might even help. Or maybe it wasn't that high enough, because in Singapore it's super duper high. I think I didn't really climb this up fully. I can't remember. I think I did, but I remember after doing this, I had a high fever afterwards because I was so afraid of heights. But it helped me build the confidence to go through the rappelling part. So yep, let's go back.
Successfully conquer the obstacle course. Day 0 is complete.
So I'm 40 years old. I wanted to come out to the air assault course to see if I can do it, number one, and then to improve my skill set as a helicopter pilot.
I'm a veterinarian, and so this isn't something we get to do every day. I signed up for air assault school to get a little bit of a challenge, to kind of diversify myself.
Excuse me. So this is really interesting. Like, you got all sorts of MOS that's allowed to join this course, because here in Singapore it's very very niche. For instance, not all MOSs are allowed to join the course unless you join the unit. So for example, if you were in only if you're in 101st Division, then you're allowed to join the course. So I'm not sure if in the US is still such a case, or do they open up for everybody? But apparently it looks like they are opening up for everybody. The instructor says Air Force and Marines, so it's pretty interesting. So let's take a look.
As far as what I do in the Army.
Way off that bird. Hands down, all right? Come back on.
On day 1, students begin the first phase of training, known as combat assault, much of which happens in the classroom.
And your air assault handbook, starting on page 80. Get there.
Phase 1 is giving them a foundation in basic air assault operations.
You will have the basic knowledge on how to select, mark, and control a helicopter landing zone.
So it's a fair amount of memorization, a little bit of math, and then just understanding the process that goes into air assault planning.
Move aircraft right. Move aircraft.
Just returning back from. So everybody looks really fresh. Do you guys so even the classroom phase is just purely classroom phase, or do you guys have like other trainings? Because back when I did this training, we were super duper exhausted, and when we were entering the classroom phase, everybody was like falling asleep, and we get we get nailed down if we actually fall asleep. So do you guys like purely phase 1 is just purely classroom, which means it's purely classroom, or do you guys have other stuff in between? So yeah, let me know.
A process that goes into air assault planning.
Move aircraft right! Move aircraft right! Execute!
Phase 1 moves outside the classroom when students practice hand and arm signals used to guide helicopters in a landing zone.
Lecture says, release sling load, execute!
The instructors use a game called Black Shirt Says,
Black Shirt says,
similar to Simon Says, to test the students on their knowledge of the signals and their attention to detail during the commands.
recover! If you moved, you're out! I did not say Black Shirt says recover.
The hand and arm signal's purpose is simply to guide the aircraft to place that aircraft over the load so that that hooker team can then hook up, move out of the way, and then the aircraft can then pick up and take the sling load set wherever it needs to go.
Students learn the rigorous process of preparing and inspecting 6 different loads.
Here in phase 2, they'll learn how to rig whatever equipment that they're going to send, inspect that, and they'll sign off on an inspection form, which the pilots need for their sling load operation.
So this is the toughest phase for me, I think. So it's kind of cool that you guys can actually get to do 6 kind of different sling load. I can't remember mine. I think it was just 1 or 2. Yeah. So it's pretty interesting. This is one of the toughest because the instructors were so hard on you for every little details, because every little details is extremely important. You do not want to make any mistake, especially small mistakes, so that when it goes up onto the bird, it wouldn't endanger anybody's lives, you know.
You're gonna check your hood latch.
Sling load operations was challenging. That's definitely the most mentally demanding, hands-on part of the course.
So when you lift this up, you lift it up as such.
We learn it rapidly and we're tested on it rapidly, but luckily the instructors here give us so much time to practice.
So we have 1 deficiency already, right?
We have a wide range, up to about 24 deficiencies that we could use on a given load. We'll show them clean loads so they understand how the whole process looks. Then we give them dirty loads. Dirty loads have all the deficiencies.
Then you ensure that your chains aren't twisted, all right, and they're wrapped one time and one time only. So what do we have right here? Deficiency, okay, because it's wrapped more than once.
So then they can work through and say, oh, okay, I see how this is different, or this looks weird, this is the wrong type of whatever. That way they have full confidence come test day that they'll pass the hands-on portion.
That's a very interesting take on this kind of training. Like, they show the positive and the negative. Like, I don't think I remember my instructors showing the negative side. Is so they showed what looks good, and then you guys and we had to try it out. And once we're done trying out, if there is any mistakes, they will point it out, and then we keep learning. And yep, like they say, there's a lot of practice and training before the actual day of loading of sling load.
Everybody good? Any questions?
All right, good luck. Don't suck. Begin.
While part of Phase 2 is spent under a helicopter, in Phase 3, students spend time on one, but not for long. The last phase is focused on rappelling. Students first master their safety equipment.
Damn. I remember this. I remember having to tie the harnesses blindfold as part of the test. You know, it practices muscle memory so that when come actual rappelling day, we actually do it right and do it well. So this brings back memories.
They all are taught how to tie a hip rappel seat or a Swiss rappel seat. They're tested on it and they have to do it in 90 seconds.
Yep.
Within Phase 3 are 3 separate stages. Rappelling from a 14-foot ramp,
14
a 34-foot tower, and finally 60 feet down from a live aircraft.
Phone.
We go to the ramp.
Good luck, unlock, and lower yourself.
They do a falling procedure just to get them comfortable with going down. It's really more of making them know that their equipment will hold them.
After that, students move to the 34-foot tower, where they practice rappelling on the open and wall sides.
Next follow, step forward, kneel down, hook up. Get ready.
You guys have actually 14-foot towers. That's so cute. We don't have that straight to 32-foot towers. And then it was open jump, and then after that it was helicopter jump.
Ready. You're gonna step down to the top of the letters. Do you understand?
Yes.
Go.
It's very scary. You look out and you see how far down you actually are. I feel like the tower is actually more frightening than the helicopter.
That is true. The tower is more frightening than the helicopter. For me, that is. Because once, I'm not sure, I think because of the repetition that we did at the tower, that by the time we hit the helicopter, it's nothing much. But this is quite true.
Go. It's trust in your equipment, trust in your rappel master. It's kind of out of our hands at that point, and so that can be a little bit frightening.
And then you do the open side rappel, because that'll simulate what it's like out of an aircraft, where you're just using your brake hand and nothing else to control your descent to the ground.
The idea behind it is once you're at 34 foot, you can't really tell how high you are. So then when they get 60 foot in an aircraft, they can't really tell much of a difference.
Yep, that's true.
Then, it's time for the final part of Phase 3, rappelling out of a live aircraft. Once airborne, it hovers in place at an altitude of 60 feet.
In a CH-47, we can fit 30 students in at a time. They're all hooked to a monkey tail or a daisy chain, if you will. It hooks them into the aircraft, so if the aircraft were to go down, we have a secondary safety device inside the aircraft that they're hooked to, so nobody falls out of the bird. The rappel master that's hooking them up will call them forward, make sure that that student is hooked up correctly. Once that rappel master makes eye contact with that student, then they stand up and he'll push them to the edge of the aircraft, and then he'll send him.
2 soldiers on the ground, known as belay personnel, control the ropes from the bottom.
Just in case somebody becomes a fallen rappeller or can't control their descent, they would be able to pull the ropes, stop them, and they'd be able to control their descent for them all the way down to the ground safely.
Yep, this is actually a very tough job because you're directly under the aircraft, and the what do you call it, downwash is absolutely crazy. So you have to be very attentive to the people rappelling, and then you have to fight against the downwash from the helicopter rodders. So kudos to these people.
Their job is even more difficult due to sustained gusts coming from the rotor wash.
It's a lot of work for the belay men. They get a good workout over the 3 hours they're under the aircraft.
I was actually the first one in my group to jump. And as I was getting closer to the edge, I will admit it did feel a little surreal, and I did get a little nervous, but just being confident, knowing that you are going to land on the ground within the next 20 seconds. It was really fun, super exciting.
Turn your red lens on.
Before dawn on graduation day, students face the culminating event of air assault school, a 12-mile ruck march that each student...
Oh, so it's a 12-mile ruck march. Okay, so that's about 18 kilometers, 18 or 90 kilometers. Wow, that's 8 kilometers more than what we do here in Singapore, I think. So interesting. And you guys call it ruck march, we call it fast march here. And where are all the helmets? Apparently you guys do ruck march without helmets, which is pretty interesting because here we get in full gear. So it includes helmet or jungle head, and we do the fast march in such a way. So, yep.
must complete in less than 3 hours while wearing about 40 pounds of combat gear.
3 hours, 40 pounds of gear. So it's about there. I think ours is about 120 minutes, 2 hours. I can't remember what was the timing. Or was it 100 minutes? I think it was 100 minutes for 10 kilometer, 10 clicks, I think. And it was about 40 to 50 pounds of gear. And yeah, I think it was 120 minutes. Can't really remember, but it was about there. And you guys did it like on the last day, which is pretty interesting. Because I think for us, we had to clear our fast march, Ruck March before entering, doing all the rappelling and stuff like that. So yeah, let's continue.
3, 2, 1.
The 12-mile ruck is more of a mental game, I would say. Just being able to push yourself through all 12 miles.
Let's go, air assault! Got sun!
It's hard, but it's nice to have your other teammates around you kind of encouraging you as you're doing it.
Hey.
Damn.
Great job, guys. 6-0, air assault! Great job.
So this is, yeah, so you guys literally have to run during this kind of match. I remember when I was starting, when we were training for the Ruck March, and the instructors was like saying, oh, you guys can actually take a brisk walk, you know, just take a bigger step or bigger strut. No such thing. Everyone was literally running, unless you were like 7 feet or 8 feet or something, and then of course you can take a big stride walk, but you literally have to run to beat the timing. So to all my instructors, don't lie. Let's go back.
Job. Sometimes that's all it takes. One guy or gal to really put themselves out there and let them know that you care.
Great work, man. Good job.
You genuinely do care and that you're proud of them, right? And that really sparks that motivation and get that soldier to go that last mile, that last 6 feet in some cases.
You motivated? Another 10 more, let's go. Another 10, we can make that happen. No, not playing.
Okay. Everybody wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster shit, right?
Yeah.
All right, undo your ruck and dump it out.
After the Ruck March, students have to pass one final inspection of their rucksacks.
ACH your chin strap, jacket, extreme sweat weather, and patrol cap.
Just one more opportunity to get dropped before graduation.
Earplugs, highlighter.
Upon inspection, this student told an instructor he didn't have his earplugs.
I'm gonna walk back here, and go back around, and then you need to look in your gear and you need to find them by the time I get back. Otherwise, you're gonna be a drop.
Once the instructor returned,
That's a good instructor there. So it's basically telling the guy to like, I think to borrow from somebody else, stuff to be used, which is pretty kind. But I don't think here in Singapore you actually get a second chance. I can't remember. Yeah, I don't think so. But so far, everybody's was on point especially for the items that we pack, and they were really I want to say the A word, but I can't say it. They were really A on it, and to a point where every small little detail has to be perfect, like how we arrange the items and stuff as well. So yep, kudos to the instructor though.
The student had managed to find them.
Earplugs in your gear? Air sauce on.
No students were dropped during the final inspection.
All right, congratulations. You're air assault qualified.
Of the 231 students that started with this class on day 0, 191 finished the course.
That's pretty interesting. That's a big eye opener for me to see how US conducts its air assault. If I had a chance to actually go through the course, I would, but I think I've passed that age. Not the age, I guess more of fitness. I have so much injury from my days in the army that I don't think I am capable of doing any of this stuff anymore. But yeah, I think it's pretty interesting to see how is almost similar in every aspect. Yep, I hope you guys have enjoyed this reaction. Do let me know if you guys do let me know what you guys want me to react to next. Particularly, I've really enjoyed this this episode of Random Reaction, especially with the air assault soldier trainings, you know. So hope you guys have a really good day ahead and stay safe. See you all next time.